We'll get started with the roll call vote. Bob?
Here.
Sean?
Present.
Lucas?
Present.
Jim?
Gallagher here.
Bill?
Bill, you're
Bill, you
muted.
might be.
Headcon 1.
Holly?
Present.
And Andy?
I'm here.
All right, and Justin Stone, I am here. So I had a request from Jim. Jim, the floor is yours.
I'd like to go out of order, if it's all right with the chair, and go down to items not reasonably anticipated by the chairman in 48 hours to the meeting. As you know, the select board at their meeting, when they had the wisdom to bring Andy on board, they also incorporated the Soldier and Sailors Memorial into the Veterans Advisory Committee. So what I would like to do is I would like to make a motion so that there is continuity. I would like to make a motion that the officers already serving for the Veterans Advisory Committee be considered the ones also for the trustees of Soldier Sailor Memorial, so that we have one group, one set of officers, and we can go forward united.
Second.
Can I get a second? All right, I got a
I
second.
concur.
Gentlemen, I
Was it-
don't know that you can do that.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. So Bob DeToma?
Aye. I think he's got a right to ask under if anyone's got any questions before we vote.
Before,
But,
That is true.
Andy, to answer your question, yes, we can, because what's happened is that the two committees have been combined, so there is only one committee now. That's what the select board did. So
when-
all
when
I'm
did they
doing
do
is
that?
Tuesday.
I was at that meeting Tuesday.
What did you doze?
What was that? No, I was at that meeting. They didn't say that to me that they were gonna do that.
Well, that's what happened. And then what the idea was is you being on that Soldiers and Sailors Memorial know better than anyone that it was impossible to get anything done because you were the only one active.
Well,
So
yeah, I guess, but
it's all good. It's all good. We're all one big happy family now.
I don't mind it. I don't mind. I just wish somebody had told me about that.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Justin. Stoney.
Tony,
Yes,
can I make a suggestion?
yes, go ahead.
Maybe if Mr. Gallagher, or maybe if you, the chair, asked for nominations for the positions on Soldiers and Sailors Memorial, and then we voted and went through the process, it would be above board. So you take nominations and then vote on nominations and so on.
So nominate the chair and the vice chair and the secretary, or vote on the
Yeah, we'll
board
do it.
members?
We'll do it
Well,
we've done it one at a time. I'll nominate Justin Stone as chairman of Soldiers and Sailors Memorials.
Okay,
Right,
can I get
if I could comment, that there is no longer two committees. They have been combined. So to have a vote for Soldiers and Sailors and a vote for the Veterans Advisory Committee is superfluous.
Mr. Chair, can I remove my motion and we should table this? We should table this until we get some clarification, because
yeah,
my understanding on the town website, it's going to list two committees.
yeah. So Jim,
I
I don't mind saying that myself, Bob, and Sean, with what your initial motion was, were the three. Where I'm getting mixed up with this is I am tracking that it's two separate committees and that we need 5 members for the Soldiers and Sailors. And we have more members in the VAC. So we need to make sure that the voting members for Soldiers and Sailors know who they are. And there's a little bit more I think, a little bit more that we need to run down as far as how this is going to work, because Colleen told Bob, it doesn't matter, just make it work. But with soldiers and sailors being a state requirement, we need to make sure that we get it right.
Correct. I was sworn in this afternoon twice
Perfect.
on each committee. So as far as
Okay.
I'm concerned, it's still a separate entity until the rest of my other board realize they're being absorbed. I don't have a problem being absorbed.
It's not painful at all, I'll tell you. It's
They have not had a meeting in an entire year. They're state mandated. You guys, I don't believe are.
We
Just
are
stop.
not. And my understanding is Colleen, the select board sent out letters to the other two members and told them that this was happening, and that the select board voted that we are members now. That the soldiers and sailors falls under us, and that our members will be the members of the soldiers and sailors. So I'm not too concerned about the other two members, because I was told by the select board through Bob not to worry about those two. But I do think that we need to clarify some things. So that is the reason why I did not put it on the agenda this time. I was going to bring it up, but I wanted to give ourselves a little bit more time to sort it out. Once again, I don't mind saying that the three of us are still going to be the chairs of that, because I think we do need to have some kind of leadership to run this down. But as far as more details, I don't have them.
I had left that committee about 3 years ago because they were not doing anything. I did have one item left on my agenda that I'm going to try to, if we are merged to one committee, I have one outstanding item from my past board, is to create a second Vietnam Veterans Memorial plaque in Veterans Hall for the 148 veterans did not get on the first one.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'll do, I'm going to write that down along with the flagpole idea that Jim told us about last year.
Okay.
And I am going to add it to our new Soldiers and Sailors agenda for March. And then we will have an official agenda in March that we can send out. It'll have the flagpole and the Vietnam plaque on there. And you could fill us in on the details, and we can start moving forward on those. I will tell you, Andy, that I don't know if Jim told you, but we typically don't sit on things. We go at a pace that is comfortable for us to do what we set out to accomplish. So if we say that we're going to move forward with this stuff, we'll definitely keep it going. So don't think that this will just get pushed off to the side.
No, nothing I worked on gets buried.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to withdraw in following the leadership of my good and great colleague, Bob DeToma. I too would like to withdraw my motion.
Okay, y'all want to wait until March then and do it then, once we can get some more details?
Yep.
Okay,
So if you want to carry this forward as if we should get current information before we decide to do something, then that's up to you. But I'm ready just to go with it.
well, the problem that I have is I need to verify who is voting members, because we have more VAC than the soldiers and sailors. And I want to give, the select board is just telling us the 5 original VAC members would do the soldiers and sailors. I want to give y'all the opportunity, because if you've got too much on your plate and you don't want to necessarily be a voting member in 2 different boards, then that's fine. So I would say if you want to withdraw for now, I'm fine with that. And then we can come into March, we can do our leadership nomination, and we can also nominate who else wants to be on the Soldiers and Sailors board. And then I will ask Evan to get some clarification on this. Because I also don't have the charter. And I want to know what the Soldiers and Sailors Board does. I know it deals with memorials and things, but if there's no ideas for memorial going up, then what are you voting on? And I want to make sure I understand all the responsibilities and things like that.
Tony, can I
so
jump
we
in
can do this
again?
appropriately.
I
Yes,
was
please.
I was one of the signers of the town charter. And I know I have a charter here. So between now and the millennium, I'll find the thing on the soldiers and sailors in the charter and I'll copy it and send it to you. How's that? Or I send it to
Perfect.
everyone if you.
Yeah,
There is a
please do.
mission there is a mission statement for that other board on file with the town.
Okay. I'll work to get those and or Jim, if you have the charter, let me know if you also have the mission statement. If not, I'll work with the town to get that as well. Bob, would that just be the clerk's office? They should have all that, right?
I would believe so.
Jim, I can just reach out to the clerk's office. And I'll just ask them for both.
All right,
And
just
then
let
that
them
way
know
we make
that,
sure we have.
let them know that you're personal friends with one of the original signers of the Grafton Charter.
No.
Yeah, and you
I
know,
will.
I
I don't-
swear to God, there was 12 and there's like 5 of us left.
Oh, wow.
Before you know it, will be a trivia question.
Any other questions on the Soldiers and Sailors
Sorry.
Board of Trustees? I got to get the name right now. Okay, then we'll move on to approval of previous meeting minutes. This is for December and January. Andy, you might not have received the minutes that Sean sent out last night, so that's okay. And then,
Hello?
hello?
I thought we froze.
You froze.
Oh,
Are you
Does
gonna read-
anybody-
Are you gonna read them?
I'll move to accept the meeting minutes as written for the last 2 meetings.
I'll send them to you, Andy.
I second that motion.
Second, third.
all right.
Got it. Fourth. Hey, Jim,
Yeah,
if you're gonna send anything to Andy, you might want to put it in crayon. Those Air Force guys can't read too terribly well.
Whoa. You realize that Stoney's retired Air Force, don't
Stoney,
you?
you're-
Yeah,
Stoney,
that's
you're-
messed up. This is Holly.
Oh, and Holly too.
Yeah, but
Holly too.
Hey,
Justin
Bill.
doesn't count. He was an
From the
officer.
skies and the pretty girl's eyes. And
Y'all kids, the real branch of the army.
All right, you guys.
Ooh. right. We'll do a roll call vote to accept the meeting minutes as is for December and January. Bob,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Lucas,
Aye.
Jim,
Gallagher, aye.
Bill,
Hi,
Holly,
I,
Andy.
Reserved comment. Yes.
say nose, say ear, say something.
Yeah, he said yes. And Justin Stone, aye. So December and January minutes are approved. And now we'll jump into the rest of the agenda. Holly, you have an update on the food drive?
yes, sir. So I'm proposing we start our food drive from 1 April to 30 April. My actions before we kick that off is to find out where we're gonna put the bins. So I know, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, but we can put those at GCTV, correct?
Yep.
And then I talked to Stop and Shop. They kind of said no. So I'm looking at Koopmans, I'm looking at the church, but I want to reach out to Joan because I don't
Yep.
want to deconflict. So that's pretty much where I have, unless you guys have any other locations where you want me to reach out to for bins over.
I would think CVS.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
definitely go talk to them.
How about the market basket?
Oh,
Yeah,
the new one. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Yes, I will.
'cause there's
Absolutely.
a lot of people that are going there right now.
Oh, you got that right.
Yeah.
When
And
they
you know, the
opened,
Stop
I
and
had a
Shop,
little tear at Lucas.
Yeah,
so the Stop and Shop doesn't want to do it because they already have the Grafton Food Bank. So I don't know if maybe we can get into an agreement with the Market Basket to say, hey, you know, we'll give all this food. Can you just have a box constantly set up for us? And then we'll just come in and take it to the DAV, or have the DAV come down and pick it up.
No, absolutely.
is-
So I'll talk to, because it's funny because my son's gonna apply for Market Basket, so I am going to inquire about that. And
Oh, we'll have an in.
CBS, so
Do you know if he has any employee discounts?
we'll see. Jim, I'll
A
let
little
you know
premature.
because he's
Yeah,
looking for
he's
work
just-
for you
He's
still.
not going shopping for the Gallaghers.
Mis-
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Jim could be a better.
don't you get a
Yes.
senior discount or something?
I have one comment on the food drive. Holly,
Yes.
with the churches, they do a market Sunday. I believe it, I don't know how, I'm assuming it's like once a month, something like that. So we may want to like take the box away for market Sunday so that we're not, taking
Yeah,
from the.
so our Boy Scout troop is Lady of Hope. It's my goodness, St. James, St. Philip's, and St. Mary's. So
Yeah.
any other church I haven't talked to. So I want to talk to Joan because I know her meeting got delayed, and we might be like able to initiate earlier because their stuff is delayed, but I just want to talk
If
to
I
her.
could
before
jump in with you, Holly, just for a second,
Yep.
for the people that don't know, is that Joan Shanley runs a veterans group out of Our Lady of Good Hope. Okay, and she also was doing things like coat drives, warm socks for veterans, and food drives and things like that too. And Holly hooked up with her, and the two of them are working on getting together. So the concern about having the Market Sunday and things like that, they just moved our box last time on Market Sunday over to the left. That's all.
Okay,
Holly's right on top of this.
Yeah, so I just propose, if everybody agrees, the 1 April through 30 April, just to give me time to get the locations, which I feel very good about, plus everybody's recommendation, and then I can get a better proposal, if that makes sense.
I'm right across the street. I can help.
No, I know Jim, and Austin's looking for work, so
All
text
right.
him.
Awesome. Well, Holly, you're doing a great job with the food drive. I was so glad to see the amount of food that went up. And the DAV was really ecstatic about it. So the fact that we're putting this on is great. And then I do want to point out, based off of the phone call you and I had yesterday, that it sounds like the best time to do food drives is anytime it is not a holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas. So this is something that we can continue to do, maybe once a quarter or something like that. Y'all just let me know how much you want to do this, and it seems to be working out really well.
Don't need the thing they would talk, I'm sorry.
The only other one I would consider as a conflict to our food drive is the one for the post office. They have one twice a year.
So, sir, can you clarify?
The postal service in town, the three post office, they have a food drive in the spring and in the fall. I'm not sure of the dates. But if you're
Late spring, mid-fall.
Yeah, if you're considering not running it against the church market Sunday, perhaps consider not to run it against the post office either.
Yeah, that makes
So-
sense.
Yeah, and
Well,
I'm
I can-
happy. Does anyone have a person to talk to? Because
Yes, I
talking to
work,
all others, April was the best month to start from my perspective.
if you want to do anything with the postal service, because I worked with Grafton Central for 3 years as an RCA. And I actually did collections, didn't collect very much for food when I ran Route 5 and Route 4. So the person that you would need to talk to would be Bob Wambach. He's the postmaster for Grafton Central. South Grafton over on Ferry Street. I can't remember the postmaster's name. I've talked to him several times, but he's a pretty good egg. He's not too far from retirement. Again, when you do your food drive, if you're going to do it around the same time as the postal service, at least by what I've experienced, not very many people leave food out for us to pick up, for the fact that wild animals, especially when you get up on George Hill, like to get into that stuff.
Hey,
So
Holly, why don't you let me staff that out, all right?
Okay, and we had a pretty good response last time. It just, so
No,
from
I
my
meant
perspective,
with the post office.
no, I get it, but we had no dealing with the post office last time. We had very good turnout with St. Mary's. We had a
Yeah.
great turnout with St. James. St. Philip's was kind of, we got to get there. But I got to talk to Joan first, because that's like where my focus is, plus Market Basket and, so if you guys have recommendations, but I was not considering the post office. If I should, I will go talk to them.
No, I'll staff it out. I'll staff it out. Stoney, can I make a complaint here? Is that, those boxes of food that had expired? Bob
Yep.
DeToma left them over on my back porch.
Oh, well, he thought you needed it.
And he left it there with a big sign that said "Bon Appetit."
Oh, well, there you go.
He knew you couldn't tell the difference
Right.
Yeah.
or taste the
Is there anything
difference.
else with the food drive? Ugh.
So can I start proceeding with April 1st through 30th, or do I have to wait?
Jim, when do you think you can get in touch with the post office?
Tomorrow.
I say for the purpose of the meeting, start proceeding with April 1st. And then if Jim comes back with something that changes that, then we'll go on hold. How's that
Copy.
sound? So you're not just in a waiting pattern.
Here's my thought. Bill, tell me if I'm wrong, but in April, okay, big income tax month, right? Everybody's the last minute getting their returns in. I think the last thing that the Postal Service wants to do is to collect food while they're having all of those people coming in. So I bet April is fine and dandy.
again, I picked up, I'm just a driver. That's all I am. I don't deal with the higher ups and their shenanigans. But
I don't think it matters
honestly-
how tall they are, Bill, but I'll look into this tomorrow.
yeah, it's again, that was a schedule that I vaguely remember because I haven't done mail in about 9 months. I retired out of it. But again, I think at the most, because I reserved 2 top racks on the LLV to pick up food, I only picked up maybe 4 boxes
All right.
Okay.
out of 2 routes. 2 routes. One George
So
Hill.
I guess maybe the most important thing is if I can talk to Joan and combine forces, because they have not had their meeting yet. I think we should have a better outcome if both our organizations do a food drive together in April.
Yep.
For the churches. So that's what I want to propose. And if I can get other organizations, awesome. But that's where I'm at. Over.
That works for me. Press on. And then, like I said, if I would say the only reason to stop or go on hold is if Jim comes back with information where the post office is saying, no, that's peak time and we do this and we don't want you to do it with us. So, but other than that, I say press on for now, and we can touch base again in March. And if we need to schedule another meeting between now and March, we can do that as well. that's not a problem. Just let me know, keep us informed like you always do, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Joan tonight and other than that, I think with the churches, I think we can proceed. But if we have to like flex for other places, fine. Like we'll do
Okay.
it.
Sounds good. Anything else? All right, moving on to the meet and greet. Sean, you're up.
Okay, since previous meeting, I had asked Bob to confer with Bob Berger about the overtime issue in a town. I'm assuming when he said it wouldn't be that big an issue. I'm assuming it might apply to all town buildings, or was it just I'm not sure if it was just the town hall. So
When
On
I
that
asked,
note-
when I asked the question, Sean, it was about the municipal center. And it was about it was any event that took place after 10 PM. And then the cleanup that took place, but other than that, they had no problems with this committee scheduling events.
Okay, so on that note, I would like to revisit possibly the senior center again. I want to talk to the lady in charge there and find out if she would have an issue with us being in her space after they lock up for the day, so to speak. Knowing that, the custodial staff is all covered and taken, that portion of it is taken care of. If that doesn't pan out, I would like to consider one of the schools possibly. Again, that might be a bigger issue, but a school, one of the grammar schools, maybe North Grafton Elementary, because it's a smaller building, might be an option, either that or Millbury Street. So.
Okay.
John, an option you could use very shortly is St. James Hall. You can put about 200 people in there. There's a kitchen in there. And right now they're attempting to get the floor fixed, which should be done very shortly. It's under contract with the bishop and city of Worcester. But they're gonna start renting that hall or making the hall available. So
All right.
that's an option for you.
So
The
Andy, on
bishop
that note,
doing the hall?
we did talk to the parish about that, and I was kind of put on hold because of the construction or the remodeling that was going on there.
Correct?
If you're telling me that it's somewhat near completion, then I will
No,
reach out to them.
It's recently under contract for the floor to be fixed. Once the floor is fixed, the hall will be open for business, so to speak.
All right, then let me try and get on that sooner than later. I'll try and do it, either this week or beginning of next week. And I'll reach out to the parishes again and see if I can firm something up, because you're right, that is a very good location, somewhat centrally located and well-known.
And there's plenty of parking.
Right.
Off street, so.
Yeah, and I had already done some of the legwork as far as the insurance coverage and such as that. So, all right, that's good news. I'll follow up on that right away. So once we secure our location, per our last meeting, we did say we would kind of, keep this running on the agenda until we get a little more solid footing on it. So if we secure a location, I would like to know, how are we going to advertise it? Is it going to be letters? Is it going to be simply, Facebook type of thing? And then the last piece might be a little bit of funding if we feel we need it, for, if nothing else, to get appetizers and whatever to lure people in the door.
Evan has agreed to fund whatever we need for this. Told him it
Okay.
won't be much.
Right.
I think we can reach out to Pepperoni Express for pizzas. And then as far as advertising, my thought would be it would go out on the town Facebook page and everything, our Facebook page. We can send out emails to the folks that have returned their letters to us. They do read them. And we could push it out that way. We could ask some of the local signs people, like some of the shops with signs, if they could just advertise it for us. There's the town sign that's right there at that intersection of Providence and Worcester. We can maybe run it there as well.
My
I
son's
think we have a
the
lot of
super-
advertising options.
My son is the superintendent of the highway department, and he's
Yep.
the one that has the key to that sign. So I would say
Okay.
Oh,
that'll be all set.
Okay, so
Okay.
then,
With regard to notifying veterans, obviously we have the two posts, American Legion, VFW, but not everybody in town is a member of VFW or American Legion. One thing that comes to my mind with regard to our census, town census, one of the items on the census list, the very last column on right-hand side indicates whether or not you're a veteran or have been.
Yeah.
Okay, now, not everybody can see that, but it's my experience that if you can't look at the current census list, you can look at one 10 years old or 5 years old, and
So Andy,
use that as a way to contact those people that indicated that they are veterans.
we
Not
cannot see
not
that
everybody
list.
can see it.
Andy, hang on a sec.
And we can't see that list at all.
Okay.
That it was a big deal when we were trying to get those introduction letters out to people,
All right,
and we had to basically bend over backwards and find and work through some loopholes to get Justin Souza when he was here, because he could see the list. He had to get the addresses, and he had to handle all of that. It was a big deal.
yes,
And then there's 750 people on that list.
yes, sir.
So yeah, we sent out introduction letters to all 750, and we got about 30 letters back.
Okay.
The people that responded back, we can use their address, their contact information, because they give us permission. But as far as the rest of that list goes, we unfortunately don't have access to it.
Can
Hey,
we,
Andy, the other
can we-
thing that you would, Andy, the other thing that you were talking about when you're talking about the Legion and the VFW, this committee does not want to ruffle any feathers at all. So we
No.
don't want to make any indication that we're taking any business away from them. Now,
No.
God knows, there have been quite a few veterans since you and I were wearing green. Okay, and I think the people like our age are probably going to the VFW and are going to the Legion. But what I think one of the things that we're really hoping for is to try to get a lot of these folks that have the younger veterans and looking at the suicide numbers and things like that, and see if we can find out who they are and then reach out to them, because we're getting more and more resources that are becoming known to us. And if we know who they are and what they need, we can get them there.
Right.
Okay, but I think we're going to stay away from a mailing list for those two guys.
Okay,
We lost Stony.
You think I pissed him off?
Possible.
Yeah. You're up, Bob.
Hang on, I'm texting him to see if he's all right. Oh, he's back in. I just want to make sure he didn't hit a tree. Stoney, can you hear us? Unmute.
Yep, I was right. He's pissed off. He's not talking to me anymore.
Hold on, he's probably texting me now.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for Stony, how many of you saw the Grafton News that we have a new veterans agent in town?
Jeff Farrell.
Heard it
Did
from the
you-
Legion.
Did you get the email from well, see, you're still not getting emails, are you? Because Stoney announced that.
I sent Stony a message last night asking him if he knew we were getting the appointment. And he came back, said yes, but prior to that, I did not get anything that I saw.
Jim, did you share the phone number for this Jeff Farrell with the rest of the group?
I'm sorry, once more.
Did you, the phone number I sent to you for Jeff Farrell, did you share it with the rest of the group?
Did,
The new-
I'm Andy, I'm not following you, buddy.
Okay, I sent you an email with the new veterans agent's name, Jeff Farrell.
All right.
And his phone number.
Yeah, okay. I had seen the announcement and I had heard from Stoney about the new
Okay.
appointment.
I have
Thank
I
you.
have Jeff's phone number. He reached out to me after I sent out the bio. Sean, you're still not getting the VAC emails, so that's still a problem. That's why you didn't see it.
All right.
I have not shared Jeff's phone number with everybody yet because he's still getting his feet under him. So I was asking him if he would be here for this meeting, and he said no. He's got some other things planned. So I was just going to give it a little bit, and then I was going to pass out his phone number to everyone. And then I'm going to jump back real quick to Andy. You were talking about the VFW for the meet and greet. I will invite Carmen and the post, but we had talked in the past that when we do things like this for meet and greets, that I would send out an invitation to them if they would let their members know that we were doing it, and then they could show up and try to recruit new members as well. So that was the agreement that I threw out there to them as well. So they will get invited once we know more. Excuse me, once we know more details.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit here because we only have this until 8:15. So are there any other questions on the meet and greet or on Jeff being appointed?
No,
Okay. So the next thing is the informational email. As y'all have seen and discussed, except for Sean, I've been sending out letters and all the information that I collected. I sent all that out in January. A lot of that came from those informational letter or that introduction letters. The veterans that sent back responses, some of them had general questions. Good news story. One of the guys responded back to me and he was like, I still don't understand what I need to do to get an ID. I reached out to Brian, who was filling in for the VSA role while Jeff was being hired, and he got him the information. And then like a week later, the gentleman reached back out and was like, hey, I've got an ID now. Thank you so much. So already helping veterans. It was something small like an ID, but it was obviously something that had been weighing on this gentleman's mind for a while. And we were able to get him that information and he was able to solve the problem pretty much immediately. And I've seen multiple veterans respond back to the email welcoming Jeff. And so that was great. Dan from Prudential, he also sent me some additional financial information, which I shared with the veterans. And Bob passed on 3 additional introduction letters that came back. So I've added them and filled them in as well. Any questions on that? Now that our minutes are approved, I will send those out. But and then we'll just keep sending out information as we get it. So I don't think I'm fully ready to talk about this now that the Soldiers and Sailors has been given to us, but I've been playing around with the idea of getting of appointing someone as a social coordinator, somebody to run with the Facebook stuff, to send out these emails, because right now it's Bob and I that's doing it all. So just trying to delegate these responsibilities out with everybody. At the time, I put this on the agenda before the Soldiers and Sailors board got moved over to us. So the thought was, hey, you know, we'll talk about this new position, but I think we need to get the Soldiers and Sailors stuff sorted out first. So I'm just going to put this on hold until April, and we'll come back to it then. But if you currently do not have a position with the board, and you are interested in using Facebook to post things and reaching out to veterans when we have emails that need to go out, be prepared in April to throw your name in.
Who will be drafted?
I'm sorry. You will be drafted. Jim likes
And
to
we
do that
have
a lot.
Holly do it. She does nothing around here.
I know.
I will say that it's not necessarily a lot of work, and you can delegate. Like I had Jim help me out trying to track down some veterans because I just, my schedule was slammed. So it's not like, you know, you're alone in this. It's just drafting up emails when that needs, or sending out the minutes and stuff like that.
So
Not
Justin,
looking
I have
for
no
everybody.
problem with email, but I hate Facebook. I'm not
Yeah,
going down that road.
everybody hates Facebook.
Well,
So, but
let's-
yeah, just go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we'll just table this till April and
Yeah, so be thinking about it, and then if you have anything that you want to bring up in March, or if you have any questions, or just let me know. And with that, we'll move on to Veterans Day. Bill?
All right, good evening, everyone. I've done a little bit of work. I'd had some meetings on I'm gonna read what I've been recording. 20 January, contacted Justin to begin the process of organizing Veterans Day event. Contact Ed King to contacts for BSA and Girl Scouts. Left information through email at the Legion and the Post for Mr. Paglione to contact me, and I contacted Paul Horgan, the Legion commander in Westboro, to get a synopsis and background for what Westboro's Veterans Day activities are and what needs to be done. 22nd January, Mr. King from Troop 107 expressed interest and contacted me. 24th of January, received information from Ed and made an appointment to meet with the Legion commander on the 27th at the Legion. 27th January, met with Mr. Paglione and the VFW commander. It was interesting. Both informed me that they would not participate due to conflicting activities at respective posts and lack of personnel to assist. I'll leave it at that. 8th of January, John Anderson of Troop 106 did respond asking if the events are confirmed on 11 November. I responded to him. I have not heard from him yet. And today, this is where I'm going to kind of put some feelers out. Mr. Datoma, I understand you run with the cable TV in town. Then if in the event that I get no support from 106, 107, Girl Scouts, and obviously the Legion and the VFW, then what I plan to do, and I've done this before, is I will go out myself, perform the ceremonies myself, raise the flag, half staff it myself, and if you can record it, if we can put that on cable TV, that might get some attention to get people to understand, look, we just don't celebrate the live veterans, we celebrate those men and women that have come and gone in the past. All right, I knew there was going to be a bunch of hands, so go ahead.
All right, can I go first? We were at the Veterans Day celebration there in South Grafton Okay, as a matter of fact, 4 of us that are on this broadcast, or 5 of us were there. Okay, they were there. They had a celebration. They had a flag raising. They had singing. They had a reception afterwards. It was not forgot at all. So to say that they didn't want to have any part of it, it's because they've been doing that up there on their own. It's just not real big because, as you may know, looking around at people like me, is that we're getting old and we can't get out much anymore. The second thought that comes to mind is that when you're talking about scouts, you got to remember Holly, because Holly is up to her neck in scouts. So if you're going to do anything with scouts, I really think you two need to work or be able to work together and not have one person doing something that the other person doesn't know. Because then it'll fall apart. Okay, that's all I got.
I understand. Now, let me build on that. Hold on, Sean, I got your hands. It's not that I'm trying to run it all by myself. That's not the point. That's definitely not the point. And I understand both the Legion and the VFW do have their ceremonies, because when I worked with 107, we attended their ceremonies over in South Grafton. So we've been there ourselves. I do know that they hold ceremonies. The thing is that I'm just trying to organize something simple. And if, again, I will make this statement, if I have to do it on my own lonesome, then so be it. I have no problem. I'm not trying to be fresh or in your face or anything like that. That's how I can do things. And I understand, Holly works with 106. She's their treasurer, I believe. And, she's got more than enough on her plate without having me heckling her about 106.
So Bill, I gave you the process. I'm gonna keep it at that. So if Mr. Anderson has not planned for it, it's because the PLC doesn't plan that far out. So if we don't
Right.
have a detailed agenda for the scouts in November, they're more worried about Memorial Day at this point.
Exactly.
Over.
Exactly. That I understand. This is why I'm putting the feelers out now, so I can plant it in their heads to say, hey, check this, it's coming up. It may or may not happen. We don't know yet. So Sean, go ahead. You had your hand up.
I have a second comment too, so.
Go ahead, Jim. You go first.
Well,
Jim,
the other thing
Oh.
I just wanted to let you know, Bill, is that before you came on board, one of the big things, as soon as we were brought together, was that is that Carmen, they thought we were trying to take all of their jobs away
Yeah.
from them.
No.
There was a big to do, and then what happened is that Stoney and Bob went down there and met with them, explained what we're doing and what we're about, and we'd like to help them more than anything else. So if all of a sudden we now have a memorial event where you're going to say, well, if no one's going to join me, I'm going to go run a flag up a pole, I would say, why don't you come with the 5 of us over to South Grafton and take part in that celebration over there? Just a thought.
Yes.
Very
And-
quickly, gentlemen, with regard to Veterans Day, the 2 posts have run this, one at South Grafton, one at Center, every year on alternating years. And the only problem with their program is they never advertise it or get sufficient advertising. None of the selectmen show up. None of the only one that has ever set foot on the property is David Moradian. Mr. Moore has other things to do over in Millbury.
Well, he was there, Andy, he was there before it ended.
He may have been, but not always. But the big problem is they don't get sufficient advertising. They have a program every year, either at South Grafton or at Center. And it's pretty well attended, more or less by invitation. We've invited the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the new Girls Boy Scout troop, and any veteran that wants to participate. but to say it's not being done, I mean, it is
We,
being
we
done.
may
everywhere.
want to even ask if we can be co-partners with them. And Bill, take your piss and vinegar and you can run with so many of this and organize so much more there in South Grafton and build that. And then we'll come in right on your shoulders as where you're being a member of this committee. Then we're working together.
I did explain to them that, you know, they're good people. They really are. And they have the veterans at heart, which is good to see and good to hear. And I think they understood what I was trying to say, is that it all comes down to those men and women, of which several of them that are buried in Pine Grove, I think it is. One of them was my neighbor. And he's passed on. He was a World War II vet. And I firmly believe in honoring them. And again, I've been doing it for Westboro for years, and I'm willing to help here. And I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. But again, the thing is a simple thank you for your service is well received, even though we can't hear it. Mr.
Sean, I think
McCat-
you had something.
Yeah, Sean's been waiting.
So Bill, when you broached this subject at our last meeting, you opened your discussion by saying, do we have a parade or anything to that effect on Veterans Day? So Jim kind of already said what I was planning to say, is that if you talk to the people that are doing Veterans Day already, all right, and ask them if you can help them, as you said, advertise it, get more participation. I think as we were saying earlier, we want to get our feet under us before we try to run with something. And I like your idea, and as Jim said, you know, the enthusiasm there. But I think for right now, if you go with on the premise of let's see what we can do to help make this event bigger and better in town, and maybe we can at some point add a little parade, if you would, you know, to the existing ceremony, because as everyone has already said, there's something already going on Veterans Day. It's been going on for years. Unfortunately, I think the people that are doing it are, like myself, older, and we don't really get the word out well because we're not as tech savvy, and you know, people don't read snail mail anymore or don't use snail mail anymore. So anyway, to dial it all back, Bill, if you would take what you're working on and ask them, how can I help you make your event bigger and better, get the word out, get more people in the door, and if you just start with that first. And like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe trying to do a little parade, so to speak, or a walk from one of the local, say, depending on where they're having it. Let's say if they're having it in South Grafton, you find the nearest cemetery or monument and do a little march from there to the post, and then have the ceremony at 11 a.m. like they've always done. Or if they're having it on Worcester Street, you could go from the cemetery right across the street, do a little march across the street, and something to that effect. At least you do something small and do it right, and then it's a win-win for everybody.
You hit something that I clued into earlier, Sean. If you look at St. Philip's and Riverside, they're literally across the street from each other. And I think right there would be appropriate to do anything to be able to move from one cemetery to the other. The only thing would be going across Hudson Street. Pine Grove, obviously we know where that is, and Fairview is down in South Grafton. So with those right there, going from top to bottom, Pine Grove to Riverside to St. Philip's to Fairview, I'm looking at a timeline of about maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that would be a very small contingent travel from one cemetery to another. It wouldn't be a large group at all. That would be a lot of logistics involved, and it would confuse things more. And again, this is all stuff that, here it is February, we're talking November. If it happens, and Holly does have a very good point. It's, I'm not gonna try to get guarantees from anybody at this point, not at all. Just putting feelers out, letting folks know that, hey, there's a possibility something might happen, like a ceremony.
So I'm sorry, but I'm so sorry, but I just want to say, I know Memorial Day, we celebrate, or not celebrate, but we mourn everybody that has fallen. And Veterans Day, we're supposed to celebrate the veterans, that still go. So if we're gonna have the Boy Scouts attend Memorial Day and Veterans Day and be in a cemetery, how are we gonna like prove to our younger population that going to the military is good, or that, because it's all graves. So I don't see the benefit of our young generation just continuously going to cemeteries when we're supposed, I just don't get it, because this is not something that I would feel good about. I mean, I feel good because I've been in the military, but if my son is going to cemeteries for everything, he's going to be like, Mom, I don't want to serve. So simple.
I'm going to jump in here because we've only got 15 minutes left. Everyone has really good points. Bill, what you're trying to do is hard because it's the first time doing it. I also agree with Jim and Sean that there is some, as Jim pointed out, there is some history here with the Post and the Legion and how our board came on board, and I have to keep that front in my mind because I'm not trying to alienate anyone. Or this board, we as a committee are not trying to alienate anyone. So I think for right now, let's, and I mentioned this last time, let's coordinate with the churches, the Legion and the Post, and see how we can help them with their current events. That's something that we can start doing right now. And we can, it's granted, it's February and we're talking November. It's a long time. So, but we can start building those connections right now to, as everyone pointed out, we can get the word out and we can maybe build those events bigger. I have had, there has been people that have told me what Holly just mentioned about, we do this big thing for Memorial Day with the cemeteries, and it sounds like we're trying to repeat that for Veterans Day. I think we can continue to have that conversation. But unfortunately, I am going to cut it short here. I don't want you feeling like, there's nothing to do. So I would say for right now, let's work with those three entities, the Legion, the Post, and the churches, and just figure out, hey, we're here. We want to help you advertise your Veterans Day celebrations. So keep us in mind as you start to plan them. Keep us in mind and we'll, advertise for you and we can show up and we can do that kind of stuff. But we can circle back to this next month. We can have conversations. Bill, you and I can have conversations between, through email or through phone. And if we need to have a meeting in between now and November to just talk Veterans Day and to sort out what it is we want to do, we can make that happen as well. I do ask, everybody's getting very passionate about this. Let's remember we're all on the same team. Ultimately, our goal is to take care of the Grafton veterans. And, one way or another, we will come up with a consensus and we will move out on that consensus.
Okay.
Any last questions or thoughts on that? Just real quick. No, no rehashing, please.
I really need to apologize to the board because I always see myself as being older, and whenever I want to say something, I just start talking, and I shouldn't do that. I should raise my hand and be recognized. So I apologize for that. So. I'm really not upset about it, but I apologize about it.
Same here. I'll leave it short.
All right, Bob,
I just want to back up Mr. Gallagher and say that I serve on another committee with him and he just likes to talk. Anyway, in reference to Grafton TV coverage of events concerning veterans, we are always at the Memorial Day ceremonies and we are always at the events in South Grafton. So if after all of this discussion, we come up with some new event, we'll be there for that too. So
I do want to say that I do not like the optics of Bill, you going out and us just putting you on TV. If that's what we decide to do, it needs to be as a committee.
No, I
if
would
it's
not be on
ju-
I would not be on TV. What they would do is film the flag going up and coming down half staff. I don't want my face on some screen somewhere.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, no, I don't. Well, there's two things. There is one, I don't want you to think that this committee doesn't support your ideas, because that's not it. And then two, it is the optics of, if it's just one person, then those veterans could be like, the Legion, the Post could be like, what the heck is going on? If it's a committee thing, then and we decide as a group, yes, let's go and do this, then let's put it on TV and we could say, we're honoring our fallen veterans, and I have no problems with that. I think the optics is fine. I do just want to, because Bob just pointed that out, I want to clarify that. And last comment on this subject. Just because we don't do something this year doesn't mean that we can't do it next year. That's why I was telling Andy earlier, we're taking a very methodical approach with how we're doing all of these things. And I think it has made what we do a success, because we have been very successful in our short amount of time. And I think it's because we take this methodical approach. We pulled back on the meet and greet date, because you know what, let's not just throw things and just pray that it works. Let's use some of that military planning and let's get it done. So I think if we can't make it happen this year, we can always revisit it again next year. And if we've supported the churches and we've supported the Post and the Legion, and they see that, hey, you know what, we are there to help them, then they'll probably be more inclined to come out and support us as well. So I think let's just continue to remember that. Just because we push it off now doesn't mean that it's dead in the water.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes, sir.
wholeheartedly agree with you, because I would hate to float something out there and have someone burst our balloon.
Yeah.
I
And we have
current events.
I like
Oh,
it. Sorry.
geez.
I totally missed that. Thank you for another
Okay.
weather balloon thing.
You Air Force guys, you're hard to get through.
Yeah,
Well,
hard
it's
to
because
reach
we're
you because you're
more
underwater.
altitude than everybody.
No,
Is there any other items that anybody would like to bring up?
I just have one. I'm sorry, Bob. Go ahead before I get frivolous here. Go ahead, Bob.
I wanted to float the idea of having an event to support veterans by hosting a 5K in town. And it doesn't have to be a run. It can be a walk. It can be a walk run. But I wanted to see if we wanted to pursue that. Maybe we could put it on a future agenda, because the clock is ticking tonight. But it just popped into my head the other day, because I do a lot of mileage with 3 days a week with my ruck. And I thought, hey, we could build something around that and get some support and some visibility.
Okay.
So there it is. I'm done.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll throw it on next month's agenda.
That would
Anything
be
else?
super cool, Bob, especially for the scouts, like with hiking and those requirements, like that is, I
Yep.
100% support, because
I
I'd be
agree.
there. I might not run, but I'll be trucking.
Trust me, it's a walk. It's not a run.
Yep.
Anything else?
Well, I just want to let you guys know that even though you do try to burst my bubble or sink my ship, whichever way, I don't take it personally. And in support of you folks, I have this.
What, I can't see it.
Oh,
I love you, Sean.
Leadership excellence.
All right, wait, Jim.
What did you
I'll-
borrow
I'll
that
go
from
one further.
Gene?
Hold on, Jim. I'll go one further. How's that?
Yeah. Honest to God, Michigan State.
Hey, you
That's
know,
what happens.
is it-
You know, the
is
other
it-
thing, Stoney,
What's
to
the
what
matter,
you're
Lucas?
saying there too, is that we're
Lucas,
gonna
no
just
comment?
remember that we're still new, you know? We're still new.
we
all
are.
right.
Did I step on
We
you,
are.
Lucas? Sorry.
No, no.
Mr. Harris, are you okay? You look a little under the weather tonight.
Do what?
You look a little bit under the weather tonight.
It's a mix of a cold and allergies all at the same time.
Yeah,
Oh, it sucks.
And with
All
my
right, could you not
medication. it
breathe
makes
into the
it-
screen then, please?
Too late. I like sharing what I got.
All right.
And by
All
the
right,
way,
can I get a motion to end the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
if I do come
Second,
back to
third.
Oklahoma next week, I'll see you.
All right, we're gonna do a quick roll call. Bob Datoma,
Yes, I.
Sean,
I
Lucas,
Aye.
Jim,
Gallagher, aye.
Bill,
Hi.
Holly,
Aye.
Andy.
Aye.
This fun-filled meeting is adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.